Hey everyone, Adam Mishan here, singer-songwriter and vocal coach, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest beginner singer mistakes that I see happen over and over again.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
The very first one that I see people make time and time again is improper breathing technique. So what do I mean by this? Well, take a breath in right now. Let's all do this as a test. Do you see something like that happen when you breathe? That your chest rises, your shoulders rise, and then you let it out and everything goes lower? If that's the case, then that's not a singer's breath. You have improper breathing technique. And if this happens right before you're about to sing a phrase, that's going to be a problem. So let's do a little experiment here. Look at my neck muscles right there. I haven't even made a sound yet, and they're all tight. So if I'm going to be singing like this, it's going to be a massive issue. So what do we do differently? How should we actually be singing? Well, if I stand up here and you watch my belly and my chest, what I want to do is have my belly do a lot of the work of moving in and out, and my chest stay pretty relaxed. And I'm breathing through my mouth. And so it just becomes this cyclical breath management experience where you've got your belly coming in and out, and your chest stays relaxed. So watch me breathe. You'll see up here, I'm not moving around. I'm not shifting my chest upwards, my shoulders upwards. There's nothing moving. That's our goal when it comes to singing. So this is the number one singer's mistake that I see. The number two mistake that I see with a lot of people is using too much strain to sing and thinking that that's required to get the voice out. I remember myself from when I started, I thought there was a certain level of strain that had to be present in order for the voice to be produced. It was only by experiencing what people describe as the float, or the voice just floating out of you, being able to have it come out effortlessly. I use that cautiously because that can lead to misnomers. But the idea of just the air coming out and singing on the breath, that's a big saying in singing. A lot of people sing on the breath. So all of these concepts made little to no sense to me at the very beginning. But as time went on, I started to understand what people are alluding to. They're alluding to this idea of the voice just coming out without the strain from the neck. So signs that you're straining, number one sign is the face. So the face will tell us whether we've got strain in the voice or not. So if I start screwing up my face like this and I'm singing, now I know for sure I've got neck strain. I've got strain inside my throat. The other dead giveaway is if the larynx starts to rise. So if we put a finger on our Adam's apple and we sing, automatically I hear and I can see the larynx, I can feel that the larynx is going up. And so that is a dead giveaway that there is strain present. In addition to these visual cues, we also have the sound cues, right? So there's a very clear difference between to right? Most people will identify that the second one doesn't sound so pretty. They won't necessarily know why that doesn't sound good, but they'll say that doesn't sound good. So it is because that sound is strained. And when there's strain in the sound, then it's going to lead to the wrong muscles working, which makes the sound a little bit unpleasant to listen to. Now, due to the fact that there are so many visual cues that we can pick up on to be able to notice strain in our voice, I highly recommend for everybody to do a lot of singing in front of a mirror because we can really see what's going on. The truth be told, the worst way to monitor your singing is just by your ear alone while you're producing your voice. So if you're trying to find whether or not you're straining, just by listening to your voice while you're speaking it, it's the worst way to do it. Why? Because when we speak, we have our inner ear, and our inner ear often muddies the true voice of what other people hear when we produce our voice. Often this is why people hear themselves on a recording and they cringe because they thought they sounded one way because of their inner ear, but they really sound a different way. Mistake number 3 that I often see happen is skipping your vocal warm-up. Now, this could be skipping it altogether or not even having a vocal warm-up. Often I'll ask singers, so how do you warm up your voice? And they'll say, well, I just sing a few songs and my voice is ready to go. That's not the best approach. So what I highly recommend is having some form of warm-up approach to get your voice humming and running. So with this said, vocal warm-ups don't need to be boring and annoying and take up a lot of time. We could do our vocal warm-ups built into our regular routine. I often do my vocal warm-ups while I'm in the car, while I'm going from place to place. By doing that, I'm using the time in the car to my benefit because I'm there anyways, not able to do much else. So when I do my vocal warm-up, I don't have to set aside specific time for that vocal warm-up. Another way to speed up a vocal warm-up is by using steam. So by steaming right before I do my vocal warm-up, well, I usually give myself about 10 to 15 minutes after steaming to do my vocal warm-up. But by steaming first, the vocal warm-up usually can be cut in half because of the benefit of the moisturization, the hydration that the steam gives you, and the extra heat that it brings to the vocal cords. It gets blood flowing to the vocal cords. So I highly recommend checking this out. This one is called My Pure Mist. It's a really great portable solution. So I just stick this on, I hook it up here, and as long as I fill it with water, I can turn this machine on and I'm good to go for steaming my voice. So I find that to be super, super helpful. Another way to make your vocal warm-up a lot more fun and engaging is by using some form of vibration. So I like to use a massager on my throat. And by using the massager on my throat, I can actually cut down my warm-up time, and warming up with songs, specifically songs that start off in my lower range and then build up, I can use that to my benefit to be able to get my voice running. So I'll give you a quick example of what that would look like. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And by doing this, and I have a couple of main points I want to hit. I hit under the chin here. I hit on the sides of the larynx, not over the larynx on itself, and on the cricothyroid area where the larynx tilts forward to stretch the vocal cords. What this does, just doing it in a song, number one, you don't have to pick boring scales, la, 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 la. You don't have to do those. Number two, it just gets the vocal cords starting to vibrate more efficiently because of the assistance of vibration from the massager. So I find that also to be super helpful to get my voice up and running as quick as possible. So you don't have to feel locked into doing the traditional boring scales that everybody tells you to do. If you're interested in picking up either of those, the My Pure Mist or the massager, I'll have links to them down in the description. The other pitfall I see a lot of beginner singers make is ignoring the importance of posture. So the way that we hold ourselves when we sing makes a massive difference. There was an actor from way back when they used to have to project their voices without amplification, that developed something called the Alexander technique, where he found by using a three-way mirror, so a mirror in front of him and then on the sides, when he held himself in specific postures and positions, it was easier or harder to produce his voice. And he noticed he would project or carry his voice better in certain postures over others. What this led to is the Alexander technique that we know today. And it uses many of the principles that he developed to be able to have people use their voice in the best way possible when it comes to public speaking or it comes to singing. So let's take for an example, if I were to allow my chest to cave in, my head to come forward, and go into this kind of terrible forward head posture that a lot of people sit in, and I were to try to project my voice, it's going to become strained quite quickly, even if I do everything else right. Now, if I bring my shoulders back, I bring my ear over my shoulder, and I don't have that forward jutting head, but I bring it back into a chin tuck, and then I let it relax. Now when I go, There's a lot more ease in my tone. I noticed that it doesn't require as much effort to produce the voice, whereas here it does. And a big part of this is here I'm pushing my larynx up against my spine, and that makes it very hard for the larynx to sit the way that it was meant to, the way that it anatomically sits on our body generally. So I hope these ideas help for beginner singers to be able to notice those pitfalls and avoid them so that they don't get stuck like many beginner singers do. I have a quick quiz on my website that will tell you exactly what voice type you are so that you can continue to make progress as a singer. If you're interested in that, click the link down below. I'll have it there, the very first link. And if you found this helpful and you want to learn more content like this, please click this video right here. You're going to enjoy it too.